Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for clicking on this video. This video is called what it's called because I honestly want you to help me create some of the future chess content on this channel. Now, before you get freaked out, do understand there will be chess in this very video. There's going to be an absolutely hysterical game between two 500 level players that somebody sent me. I put a timestamp on the video player if you want to skip to that, but I do want you to stick around for this intro. I feel like it's important for our community to just have a little chat. The World Championship ended in a kind of anticlimactic way, and I've been it's difficult for me to recover. Like, you know, when you do something fun, maybe you see some friends, maybe you just do something exciting, and then it's over. Well, that's kind of what I'm going through right now. It's like, it's hard to pick myself back up. I set aside this time for the World Championship, and it just kind of ended, and now I'm sort of bummed out. And combine that with the fact that yesterday I had to be gone the entire day. I didn't upload on Saturday. We were out all day. I had to wake up at 7 in the morning yesterday to record the video, so we could drive with Lucy to see my grandfather. It was his 75th birthday. Thank you for wishing him happy birthday. And today I'm going to be out of the house again the entire day. I have to drive a couple states over, and now I'm recording this one at 8 in the morning. I'm just sort of all over the place right now, and I wanted to use the beginning part of this video as an opportunity for you, yes, you, I'm talking to you, to voice your concerns. And by concerns, I mean, what do you want to see on this channel kind of moving forward? What are your favorite series? Now, what videos are there that you wish were there? What videos are there that you find, but they maybe not the quality that maybe we can produce on this channel or something along those lines? Upvote other comments. All right, the thing, what happens when we do something like this in the comment section is people just write like a bunch of comments and you'll just get buried. So if you see something you agree with that's already a top voted comment, you know, upvote it. And I'm going to just confess something to all of you at this very moment. This is actually kind of a look behind the lens of YouTube methodology. I would love to just upload instructive content, like only like long videos where you can learn like opening videos, middle game videos. Here's the problem with that. They are not algorithm busters. And what I mean by that is they don't do that great compared to if I upload something super interesting like Magnus Carlsen beating chess masters, or just some unique, interesting video that's just not out there yet. That video will do better in the long run. And if I have a lot of videos that are doing better in the long run, YouTube pushes out the rest of the catalog to everybody else. If I'm just making instructional content, while that might be great for some users, and I'm kind of like the chess book of YouTube, they don't do well. And when they don't do well, it suppresses everything else. So for a while, I wanted my methodology to be to upload a fun video and then upload an instructional video in the evening, 2 videos a day. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that's extremely difficult. So I wanna balance that fine line between providing good instructional content moving forward so people don't have to fight a holy war of who they think is the most instructional channel on YouTube, but at the same time give you Guess the Elo and give you, you know, crazy how to lose at chess stuff so you can still learn while also laughing your ass off because you're just witnessing really funny things. I'm kind of exhausted. Like the World Championship was a little bit of a downer, and I've been driving out of the house the last like 3-4 days. I haven't been thinking about YouTube at all, which is, I mean, it's not completely true, but I'm usually brainstorming what my next videos are. So why don't you get something interesting off your chest in the comments section? And if you made it this far in the video already, then just jump ahead to the game. Now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to show you this absolutely fascinating game between two 500s. I hope you laugh, I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Welcome to the game. If you skipped ahead, go watch the intro. It's actually pretty important for our community, and if you already watched the intro, then prepare to be entertained. Our protagonists are grandmasters between the ratings of 528 and 605. Both of their usernames have been altered so as to not dox them. We have d4, d5, and the 600 rated grandmaster begins the game with the Queen's Gambit, which is a really, really good opening. Obviously putting some center pressure here. At black defends with knight f6. Now, knight f6 is actually, believe it or not, already a mistake. And this is going to be pretty instructive because if you're guarding the center with a knight or a queen, that's really not a great thing, particularly in queen's pawn openings, because if the Scandinavian allows you to bring the queen forward and back, that's one thing. But here, you know, allowing your opponent to get this is just not going to be very good at all. You're just going to give white a very clear advantage. And the same thing with the knight. If the knight takes, then the knight is going to be booted from the center with the move e4, and white is just clearly better. But white plays knight c3, and now black transposes to a Queen's Gambit accepted. So the Queen's Gambit is not just about offering the pawn as a gambit, it's also taking the pawn on d5 if it becomes available, right? That actually is the reality. Here, white plays a great move. I mean, e4 is nothing short of fantastic, taking the full center, and you want to take back on c4 with the bishop. This is the exact point of the queen's gambit. Now, black here plays a miracle move. This is a miracle move because it's honestly not that terrible. The idea is that if you play knight takes b5, there is knight takes e4. I suppose that was the idea, and that's why I call it a miracle, because black absolutely did not see that. I mean, black just got extremely lucky. And now white plays bishop g5, which, you know, I don't hate this move. I think you're just developing a bishop, but friendly reminder that if you have also pawns overrunning the center, you should, like, try to attack your opponent, so you should take as much space as you can like this, and then if they play knight to d5, then actually you just win this pawn completely for free. And then you can also win that pawn completely for free, potentially. So just remember that if knight b5, knight e4. That's like the dynamic of the queen's gambit. That's how the pieces interact. But okay, I don't hate bishop g5. Black plays knight to c6. I also don't hate this move, actually. I really don't hate this move at all. But now, again, if you're going to put two pawns in the center, then you are responsible for them. If you have two children, you are responsible for them. You cannot just let one of them die, yeah? So that was mildly grim, but that's kind of what I'm saying. Knight takes d4, and now it's not a queen's gambit. Now it's white is down two pawns on move 6 gambit, which... yeah, that's bad. That's not what we should be doing. Also, if you just played bishop g5, why did you go bishop f4? I mean, what are we doing? Like, develop another piece. Why knight or why bishop is like zigzagging all around the board? All right, now knight f3. I wish you would have played that move last move. And now c5. Black is actually playing a fantastic opening thus far. It's slightly better here to take on f3. c5, you're a little overextended, and let's also not forget that knight b5 is possible if I take on d4 in some positions. And now white plays knight takes d4. Now, here's the problem with playing knight takes d4 this very moment. If you play it this very moment and then take on b5, the queen is going to laser beam your king, because your king is stuck in the center. You probably should have played like bishop e2, maybe a4. a4 is a very tough move to play, but the point of a4 is you're undermining the pawn structure here, right? So that's sort of the idea. Very, you know, it's an instructive lesson whenever you have these pawn blocks like this. b3 is a minor version of a4, but b3 is met with the counterattack b4, which we're already getting into very advanced pawn jostling territory. a4, b4 is different because the knight would then go to b5. But okay, you know, I don't know if you're here for a pawn structure lesson or for chaos. And chaos you are getting. It is now -5. And it's -5 because black should play very simple. Queen a5 check and win the knight on b5, which is not protected because the bishop does not see through the pawn. However, at this point, black realizes that all their pieces are on the back rank, and that's a good thing. That's actually what you want in a chess game. So they play knight takes e4, and we go from -5 to +7. The position is +7 because all white needs now is to jump into c7, and the rest of the game will follow. And the game is absolutely over because after knight to c7 check, the king is going to go to d7, and you should not even take this rook. Do not take this rook. Queen to a4 is a mate. I mean, it is a mate. The exact same pattern is a mate. Queen a4, the game is over. The king is absolutely boxed in. The reason why it was even +7 in the first place is because black is supposed to sacrifice the queen. That's why it was +7, and then maybe black like does this and tries to like get the bishop out or something. But no, I mean, this is, and by the way, mini instructive moment. Do not take your foot off the gas here. Let's just say you play a random move. Because your king is so boxed in, there is actually a very scary threat of bishop to b4 check. And when you get boxed in like this, your other pieces are going to have to sacrifice themselves for the safety of your king. Always be on the lookout for enemy checks on the diagonals. A good lesson is that if you're up a tremendous amount of material, you can afford a sacrifice like this to liberate all of the space near your pieces and then get your king to safety, okay? Don't be worried about losing material, especially if you're up a queen and threatening mate. All right, but king d7, and of course, we do not get a mate in one. Otherwise, this would be too fast of a game, and I wouldn't be able to make any content out of it. Now, queen a5 is still absolutely the best move. Black plays c3, because why not? I mean, you got two bishops, you got a queen, you got a rook, you got a knight, but you got to push a random c-pawn to potentially open up the center even more. I mean, I cannot stress enough how horrible of a move c3 is. c3 is legitimately one of, like, the most absurd moves ever. Like, why wouldn't you get aggressive? Why wouldn't you try to hide your king? Why wouldn't you develop the bishop and attack the knight that just took your rook? Why are you playing c3, opening opening up even more possibilities toward your king. What does white do? Bishop b5 check, utilizing that immediately open space. That's exactly the concept of continuity that we like to see. The king now runs out to e6, and the queen runs out to meet the king. The problem is that now the king, while it can move over a square, black finds an opportunity to block the check. That is very smart. Your king does not have to run if it is in check. It is better to let one of the other soldiers die instead. F5 is a fantastic move because now the king is potentially going to get away, and white is going to get distracted with these pieces standing around, the knight in the corner, the awkward bishop, and white plays queen g5. And immediately, when met with even the smallest degree of resistance in this game, white has lost the queen. That's just the one mover. Knights are allowed to go backwards, and go backwards they do not. The queen now goes out to a5 for reasons I don't fully understand. You know, you were really obsessed with moving this knight earlier, and now you don't even take the queen. Queen a5 is not even played with a check anymore. It would have like probably won the game earlier, but the bishop is hanging, and this is a threat. Now, this is a very tense position. This is one of those positions where you still might not realize you've hung a queen, and if you do, you're going to move it, but you also might check the opponent, because you should always look for checks first, right? Bishop's hanging, go here. Or castle. But if you castle, you're hanging your queen. So, you know, it's kind of hard. Either check or move the queen. So we have a check. Actually, I don't hate this move at all. Black plays king f7. And now white plays bishop c4. Bishop c4 is considered a mistake by the engine, but I like it because, you know, you're kind of getting the bishop out of the way. Black now should continue to block the checks. In fact, black has no other legal move. So at this point, you've kind of forced your opponent to play something smart. Now black is also threatening cb2 and a discovered attack, and the queen is hanging, so black is winning. So white needs to play a danger level concept here. The queen is hanging, and this is threatened, and the only way to get out of this is to move what's threatened to attack the queen. That is actually absolutely fascinating. That is a very instructive moment of danger levels. That is the only move that doesn't lose the game on the spot. Of course, that move is not played. Instead, we have bishop takes e6, bishop takes e6, and queen d8. I think that white thought this was mate, by the way, because if black does not have bishop e6, it's actually mate. So for reasons I cannot fully understand, white just went bishop e6 thinking it was, you know, you play the move, you're like, you're waiting for chess.com to make the noise, but it just doesn't. And then they go here and you're like, oh God. And now it's just very much over because c takes b2 is a discovered attack and wins the rook. And black plays it. And black plays it. And now black is in the clear. It is now minus 18 for the black side. King e2 is a nice move because if ba1, you're obviously going to get this. What does black do? Throws in an in-between move check. Oh, that's big brain type of stuff. That is big brain type of stuff. King d1 leads to mate, so you got to run out to f3. If black did it, I can do it better. Now the black queen should just continue to march forward. I mean, it is so over here. And bishop e3, and now you take on e3, and queen e8. That's the problem. You've kind of allowed a little bit of action back there, but you're probably fine. You're probably fine. But king f8, king f6. But for now, this king is actually kind of safe, so let's see what happens. Queen c6 check. King f7. Now, queen e6, please don't play queen e6, because queen e6 is, again, the same mate that you thought you had earlier, but the bishop covers. Rook d1 is good. I like rook d1. I understand it's like mate in 10, but black has to find the best moves. Black has to find e2, discovered check, and then taking the rook. I mean, it's not going to happen. And then black has to find king f4, g5, king f... I mean, it's not going to happen, right? You leave black unattended. Black plays knight takes f2. And now, yeah, the advantage is slowly slipping because the white king is actually kind of safe. So what does white do? White throws in the queen. Bishop blocks on e7. And queen takes f5. And, you know, at this point, black should just bring the queen back. Just bring the queen back, trade the queen. White will never checkmate you if white does not have a queen. And, you know, you live happily ever after. Instead, we block with the bishop. And we blunder a draw. We blunder a draw because rook d7, the rook that you brought there, now you have 17 points of material attacking you. Yeah, that's probably bad, and you're just gonna get swarmed here. Of course, we don't see rook d7. We see knight d5, and now black is still completely winning. But the thing is that the more the game goes on, the more there's going to be chaos. So because black moved the knight here a while ago, black is like, knight d5 doesn't threaten my king or anything, so I'm just going to take the rook, completely blundering the queen. However, even though the queen is blundered, it does not get taken. Okay, well, black here plays... I'm going to give you 10 guesses here to see what black played. You're probably not going to guess it. I mean, black has, you know, bishops, queen, pawns, rook. In this position, black plays the move bishop takes a2. I mean, like, just imagine in the heat of battle, queen, rook, bishop, king, like everybody's scattered. You play bishop takes random free pawn in the corner. I mean, that is crazy to me. Like, you don't even care about this. You don't even care about check. You just take the pawn. You just take the pawn. Now, I guess the idea is that you now escort this pawn to the end. I don't know. I don't know what the idea is. Frankly, I don't care. Because knight takes c3, now white has won the queen back. But the game is far from over, folks. The game is far from over. But after b1, it's probably over. Because knight takes b1. And now we have bishop takes b1. And of course, you should not take this bishop. Because you should go rook d7. And the king will go to the back rank. And you will go queen e6, queen f7. And you win. I mean, you just simply win the game. King f8, there is this one. And queen c8 is made. It's made. It's made. It's made. It's made. Of course, we have rook b1, rook b1. And it's still +8. So how is black going to survive this game? Black needs to put the rook behind the pawn and push it. That's the only way black is going to survive. Otherwise, black is dead. So rook e8, best move. Like one of black's best moves this game. Rook b7. And now, of course, you're going to run your king to the corner and push your pawn. Or you're going to trade rooks. Or you're going to trade rooks. The only piece that you had to survive, you're going to trade off. And now, of course, white is going to take on e3. Okay, white is going to give a check. Okay, white is going to take on a7 first, and now white is going to take on e3. Fantastic. Queen and 2 pawns versus bishop and 2 pawns. Officially, white is in the clear. Just bring the queen forward, win one of these pawns, use your king and queen together, march your pawns forward, remove the bishop from the defense, or sack the queen for the bishop at some point, and just promote your pawns. All right, let's see how he does. Okay, here we go. Yep. Nice. Okay, that move I don't fully understand. You can just walk your king in. That also works, but all right. Walk your king up, maybe. Okay, you've now lost both your pawns. I mean, you're still winning. Make no mistake, you are absolutely winning. But now, you know, you need to go with king and queen. Now you have to know how to mate with king and queen. All right. This looks like an impenetrable fortress. I completely understand, but you can just completely ignore the bishop. You can mate the king with the bishop and the pawns right there. You don't need to, I mean, they can't defend you. Could check here. I would swarm the king. All right. Swarm. Why are we going? What is what are we doing here? Why are we running in the opposite direction? Oh my goodness. Oh my. Oh my. Oh no. Oh. The quest is not to touch the other side of the board with the king? What? Oh my god. Oh my god, have you blundered this completely? Oh my god, h1 queen. How did you No.